Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Becca, and on this channel I am reacting my way through eating disorder recovery alongside complex chronic illness, one video at a time. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited to do today's video because several of you have recommended this one. You thought that it might resonate with me, I might relate quite a bit, and it might actually be helpful. So without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. Today I'm reacting to Ren's song Hold On. Let's take our breath, because again, this guy always gets me. So we're gonna try to regulate a little bit, then we'll get started. All right, nervous system somewhat regulated. Let's go. Ren, hold on.
I got tears on my sleeves, hold on, and holes in these jeans, hold on. I haven't slept in weeks, hold on. I haven't found no peace, hold on. I get my teeth tied, hold on, and these tears run dry, hold on. Two bloodshot eyes, hold on, two bloodshot eyes. I don't belong here.
Okay, we're talking about that opening. Then we'll of course go back and get the transition because we're not about to miss that. However, oh my goodness, despite the fact that several of you have recommended this song, I don't think that I knew it had this like blues type feel to it. I was expecting a really emotional, even though you said it would be sort of uplifting, I was still expecting it to be like super sad. And maybe his lyrics will get there, but the feel of the song so far, this like bluesy vibe, oh my gosh, I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. We've heard him do like jazz style, we've heard him do reggae, we've heard him do calypso style stuff, we've heard him do like R&B stuff, we've heard him do such a wide variety bardcore stuff, we've heard him do just about everything. Yet I don't think that I've quite heard him do this exact style of like blues flavor, so I'm really excited to get further into this. But let's talk about those lyrics real quick, because you know, that's where my brain loves to go. So we're gonna go over the words of this chorus, and I want to point out before we go over each line, I love that at the end of each line it has that hold on in that rhythmic way that he delivers it, because it's like he's saying all of these lines but still wants you to remember to hold on. So he's like, I got tears on my sleeves, but hold on, and holes in these jeans, but hold on. He's not saying but, I added the but in there. I haven't slept in weeks, hold on. I get mighty tired, hold on. And these tears run dry, hold on. Two bloodshot eyes, hold on. Two bloodshot eyes. And I just, like I said, he painted the picture there. There's not a lot to dissect in those lines because they're pretty straightforward. However, I do just want to speak on coming from that angle of someone who has dealt with complex chronic illness and many of the same things that Ren himself has dealt with and is still trying to deal with and heal from. It's really hard to hold on when you feel like you've just got tears on your sleeves because you're crying so much your sleeves just feel literally soaked all the time because you're running out of tissues. You don't really have anything else to wipe your eyes, so you can't get out of bed, so you're just literally wiping your eyes on your sleeves. Just a strong image for all of the tears that can come. And then holes in these jeans, hold on. So holes in these jeans, one could be that like they're old, they're worn down. He feels worn down. He feels like his soul or his life is worn down and is kind of ripped apart. Could also be, don't have the energy to go buy new clothes. I've had to wear these same clothes forever because all of this other health stuff leaves me stuck at home. And or for me specifically, there were probably 5 or 6, if not 7 or 8-ish years where I literally could not walk even around the house, and I had to crawl around the house. And that, to me, this image about holes in the jeans triggered to me. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I have holes in some of my pants literally from having to crawl around the house because my chronic illness has disabled me to the point where I could not even walk, like holding on to things in my house or using a walker or a cane or anything like that. So that's one image that brought up to me. So I don't know if that was specific for him, but that's definitely one way that I took that for me. Then I haven't found no peace, and I get mighty tired, two bloodshot eyes, two bloodshot eyes. Again, very self-explanatory. It's really hard to find peace when you're constantly in this war between, one, your own body who's attacking itself, or whatever disease you're dealing with attacking your body, and you're also trying to fight the system to get correct diagnoses and answers and treatments that can actually help you function. And it's really hard to find peace when you are bedridden, when you keep having one thing after another just tumble down and crash in your life. It's hard to have that peace. You do get really freaking tired, and it's hard to hold on. And those two bloodshot eyes, the fact that he repeated that line twice, I think just emphasizes how much crying, how much exhaustion, how much insomnia, how little sleep is going on, how much there is a complete lack of actual restorative rest. And I was kind of vibing to like the blues vibe on the chorus, but the message of it is really, really deep. Because if you're dealing with a bunch of chronic illness stuff, like, he painted that picture very well. I'll just leave it at that. Let's take it back so we don't miss that transition and listen to this first verse.
Hold on, two bloodshot eyes. Hold on, two bloodshot eyes. I don't belong here in a place where life has left me. I'm 25 going on 150. My body feels old and I'm trying to lift the weight from my soul, but it's moving against me. I've emptied out my tear ducts. I lift my middle finger up. I'm screaming you to all the demons here that keep me stuck. The pain is sharp like paper cuts. I hate them much, but yes I trust. I must combust, I must blow up, I must roll this courage up. Boom, sparks fill the...
I tried my best to go the whole verse, but we cannot get through that whole verse at one time because there is so much to dissect there. So of course we'll rewind and get the transition. But oh my goodness, Ren, man, you got a gift with these words. Let's go over those lines real quick. I don't belong here in the place where life has left me. I'm 25 going on 150. So just those lines, like I don't belong here. When you're feeling distanced from life, when you're feeling disconnected from the world because you physically or mentally cannot function, you really do feel like there's not a place that you belong in this place where life has left you, like stuck in your bed. Maybe you feel like you were meant for more, yet you're still having trouble physically or mentally getting up, getting out, participating in life or functioning to whatever degree. And that image of 25 going on 150, that was like a dagger to the heart because I'm about a year older than Ren, so I would have been about 26 when he was 25 writing this. And a lot of times, both in those past years and even in recent years, I feel like my body specifically, but also my mind in some ways, is very much my current age, whether that's in my 20s or my 30s now, or it's 150. It's like so old because it has endured so much. I've had to overcome so many different things that a lot of people have not had to at this point in life. Now, a lot of people have gone through horrible things. I'm not downplaying that, and they also would understand this. I'm quite confident. But one specific thing for me, with my eating disorder in particular, my bones are about the equivalent, when it comes to bone density, of my 92-year-old grandmother's. And that's pretty freaking scary because at my age now, 35 years old, that's not something that's reversible. So I have osteoporosis for the rest of my life. And that 25 going on 150, obviously there's not a human that's lived to 150, at least not since Bible times, but regardless, he's just using that as emphasis for, oh my gosh, I feel like I am this worn out and this old, and everything that I have gone through, I feel like I have lived multiple lifetimes. And oh, that hit hard. It goes on to say, my body feels old and I'm trying to lift the weight from my soul, but it's moving against me. And I just want to point out the rhythm he does here a little bit. He's doing the thing where we've talked about how he's finishing the sentence on the next line. So it's like, my body feels old and I'm trying to lift the weight from my soul, but it's moving against me. So I love the way that he does that cross line there. I love the flow that he's delivering those lines with, and continues to say like, and with that weight from your soul moving against you, it's like you're constantly trying to find ways to lift up this metaphorical weight that just feels like it is this dark shroud weighing you down, yet you feel like it's continually pushing against you, and every time you try to push it off, try to get out from underneath it, it just like suffocates you even more and makes you feel even more metaphorically and sometimes literally weighed down and unable to move. Then he goes back to that imagery of the tears that just keep pouring. He says, I've emptied all my tear ducts. I lift my middle finger up. I'm screaming F you to all the demons here that keep me stuck. So again, his rhythms and his flows, he's in the pocket. He's delivering this rap cadence in this blues style, and I think that is just amazing. But the message that he's getting to there, again, it just emphasizes how desperate the tears just... Do you know how much you have to cry to really empty your tear ducts? You'd have to cry a heck of a lot, and that is going to make you feel like, oh my gosh, I just want to say screw the world, screw this life, throw up the middle fingers and say I'm done with this. I cannot handle this. And trying to like stick it to all of those demons, again, physically, mentally, metaphorically, that feel like they're just keeping you stuck, whether that's in bed, whether that's in your house, whether that's in whatever illness you are dealing with, unable to escape or unable to heal. Oh, that's a powerful image of feeling stuck in bed and weighed down, yet still trying to summon that power to say, you know what? Here's my middle finger to you. Screw you. You're the one keeping me stuck. I'm mad at you. And then I love the cadence that he switched up here and started going a little bit more rapid fire. That's the kind of stuff my brain lights up when he does that, and oh my goodness, he delivered it so well. I want to comment on these next few lines about his usage of multisyllabic rhymes and internal rhymes throughout the line. So not just the end rhymes at the end of the lines, but we've got the pain is sharp like paper cuts, I hate them much, but yes I trust. So pain is sharp like paper cuts. But if you also want to say pain is sharp like paper cuts, I hate them much, but yes I trust. So there's like 4 sounds in there, and then there's the pain and the pay in paper that also are internal rhymes there. Then that continues to the next line, I must combust, I must blow up and muster all the courage up. Like, Again, his mastery, and this was in 2016, so his mastery with internal rhymes, holy moly, this guy's good. Again, I love the flow that he's got going on there. It's kind of nonstop, but it doesn't feel chaotic or hectic because he delivers it so perfectly in the pod. He says, the pain is sharp like paper cuts, I hate them much, but yes, I trust, I must combust, I must blow up and muster all this courage up. I just, Oh, that was pretty to listen to. That was pleasing to listen to.
Paper cuts, I hate them much, but yes, I trust. I must combust, I must blow up, I must have all this courage up. Boom, sparks fill the room. I'm feeling the rhythm I move. My soul is more worn than the soles in my shoes. Nike trainer blues, a man with none to lose. I think I lost my sanity, calamity in shoes. Poor choice maker, I rip out the pages of fate, then I roll them up like bizzle of paper. Taker, lung full of destiny, a man with no part is a very strange entity. Tears.
Okay, let's go over those lines, man. Oh my goodness, my heart needed this today. You were right, guys. The ones of you that have recommended this song multiple times, you were so right. My soul needed this. I can't wait to listen to this on my own now that I've reacted to it. But let's go over the rest of that verse really quickly. Well, quickly, subjectively speaking, if you've been here, you know I like to dig into stuff, so sometimes I say the word quickly and it's not so quick, but let's get to it. I like the little bit of space he then put in there with that next line, the boom. Sparks fill the room. We've talked about how the rests before are often as powerful as the actual notes and the spoken words in a song. So like just putting that little pause between boom, sparks fill the room. It adds this whole like different dimension to the rhythm and the cadence and the flow and just the overall feel of the song in general, especially after he did those lines which were kind of rapid fire with all the multisyllabic rhyme schemes and internal rhymes. I love that he pulls back a little bit and gives us that little space between that boom, sparks filled the room. And he goes on to say, I'm feeling the rhythm, I move. And you could see me kind of dancing along with that because I'm definitely feeling the rhythm here too. And back to those lines, I dissected some of the rhymes in them and I didn't actually go through the messages themselves. We've got, the pain is sharp like paper cuts. I hate them much, but yes, I trust. I must combust. I must blow up and muster all the courage up. So this pain is sharp like paper cuts. Paper cuts are really freaking painful, and if you've gotten one, you're probably aware of that. They are also usually objectively very small cuts, yet the amount of pain that they cause is so disproportional to what they look like in size because they can hurt like the dickens and they can keep hurting for days and days and days and take forever to heal, and it's just hard, especially if they're like on your hands because you use your hands for just about everything if you've got functional hands, and it's really hard to deal with paper cuts that have come up because that pain is so sharp and you can hardly concentrate on anything else if you're actively doing something that is like aggravating that paper cut, which was already painful in the first place. So I do like that he's saying I hate them much. So he hates the pain. He hates that paper cut deep type pain. He's saying he must combust, he must blow up and muster all this courage up. So he's like, okay, I gotta become the bomb that's gonna explode here in a good way, like taking back my life way, I think is probably where he's going with that, or just like taking control and not letting all these other things be what blows up and takes him down. So maybe that's the angle he's going with there. And again, I love that space between boom, sparks fill the room. So he's like, that is the illustration of the combusting. So he's like, I must combust, and then all of a sudden you've got this boom illustrating that the combustion happened. Sparks fill the room, and I can't adequately explain to you how amazing and wonderful it feels when you feel like you've been living this like monochromatic life that has been dulled by chronic illness, mental or physical. And then all of a sudden something happens. Something lights that spark in your brain, in your soul, in your heart, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden you start to see color around you, even if you're still stuck in the same room. Even if you're still stuck in that same room, you all of a sudden start to see these sparks fill the room. And that is just a wonderful, magical place that can be terrifying, but can be also very healing. And if you're the source of those sparks, it also signifies that you're taking back your power and you are making sure your light is being shown to the world, not being dimmed down by all of these external factors that are trying to take you out. And I love that. I'm feeling the rhythm I move, because the number one healing force in my life, I would say, is music. Outside of my faith in general, I would say music. And the music even applies to my faith because that's how I process life. Whether it's Ren or any number of artists I've listened to my entire life, I process my life through song. If I didn't have music, I don't know how I would get through a single daggone day. And sparks fill the room, so there's this light in the room now. You're creating the light in the room from yourself. You can feel the rhythm and you can't help but move around and dance to it. It's just this. I was talking to my coach the other day, actually. The subject of happiness came up, and we were talking about how sort of singing throughout the day a lot of times is a symbol of happiness to some degree. So while it may not be complete joy and happiness here, the fact that he's feeling the rhythm and he moves, that is illustrating a little bit of the happiness entering again, even even if the situation is still very difficult and dark. And then, oh my gosh, that next line caught me good. My soul is more worn than the soles in my shoes. Nike trainer blues, a man with none to lose. I love, of course, the homophone there with my soul is more worn than the soles in my shoes. You've got S-O-U also, and then S-O-L-E-S, soles of the shoes. And I want to show you something real quick about the soles of my shoes to further this metaphor. Give me 1 second. I can't believe I'm getting ready to show you this, but I am. So that my soul is more worn than the soles in my shoes. This is literally just to illustrate. I have explained, I think a few times on this channel thus far, how part of my eating disorder relapse this latest time has been the resurgence of obsessive and excessive compulsive movement and exercise addiction, which for me, I can't do like hardcore exercise, but man, I could do a lot of pacing. And that's literally all I could do. But I did a lot of it until I was able to finally channel stillness back in October and put the stop to that, thankfully, which I never thought would happen, but it did. However, I want to show you the soles of my tennis shoes and of my house shoes, and then I'll tell you how worn my sole is as far as sole in here. So my tennis shoes here. Look at the soles of my tennis shoes literally torn apart there. And then my house shoes are even worse. Look at that, okay? My sole is more worn than the soles in my shoes. My sole must be pretty daggone worn because the soles of my shoes are worn the heck down to where there are holes in them. They have been broken through, but my sole a lot of times feels even more worn down and even more destroyed, and that is just such a powerful image. And I just like that he ends that with, Nike trainer blues, a man with none to lose. He's like, I'm going where I'm doing what I can do. I've lost so much already. I've got nothing else to lose. Let's go. Let's try to take back this life. Let's try to get that light going. Let's try to get those sparks flying. Then he says, and of course I love the internal rhyme here as well. I think I lost my sanity, calamity ensues. So you've got the ensues, which ties back up into the U's with the Nike trainer blues, with the soles in his shoes. So he's carrying that rhyme scheme through as well. But then you've got the sanity and calamity. That is such an aurally pleasing line. I think I lost my sanity, calamity ensues. That's just so satisfying, while being such a powerful and not exactly like super uplifting line, because I think I lost my sanity, calamity ensues. So all of this horrible stuff, all of this chaos, all of this trouble, all of this madness, you feel like you've lost your mind because you feel like you're living in this constant state of trouble and panic and calamity and fear and chaos and insert whatever else here. And he kind of continues some of those same rhyme schemes, even though he switches the flow up a little bit. It's like, poor choice makeup, I'll rip out the pages of faith and I'll roll them up like Rosilla paper. Descartes. I like the way that he twisted the pronunciation of Descartes at the end of the line there. And I really like the deeper meanings that he's playing with here, because he's talking about, I'll rip out the pages of faith and I'll roll them up like Rosilla paper. So ripping out the pages of faith, to me, that is a direct allusion. Could not be more clear to literally taking the pages out of, I'm assuming, a Bible, because it's a fairly common thing that I've heard people have done. Literally taking out the pages of the Bible because they're so thin, rolling them up with whatever your substance of choice is in that moment. I love that shout out to Descartes was there right after the faith line, because Descartes, he was big for popularizing and pushing this concept of everything in life is technically open to doubt except your very just conscious existence, which is the I think therefore I am quote that you hear a lot. I love the fact that Descartes was all about that doubt in there, and that follows right after the ripping out the pages of faith and I'll roll them up. So like ripping out the pages of faith because maybe the doubt's overcoming you. So you're ripping out the faith because faith and doubt are two polar opposite concepts. And I love that little Easter egg that he threw in there with the Descartes reference. And then he finishes that line, long full of destiny, a man with no path is a very strange entity. And that is, again, a perfect way to end that verse, I think. Long full of destiny, so he's talking about rolling stuff up in the paper, so inhaling that smoke of whatever it is. And you're also sort of metaphorically inhaling whatever your destiny is. Whatever you are trying to do to get these metaphorical sparks going, you are filling your lungs up and trying to find your way, because when you do have no path in this world, it is a very strange entity, because we're always told you have to know exactly what you want to do. You have to figure out what you need to do with your life. You have to find your exact purpose. You have to do X, Y, Z and hustle, 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 get, work, grind, grind. All of that, apparently I'm repeating words today. And when you are sidelined from life by chronic mental and or physical illness, it can feel really hard to feel like there's any path for you whatsoever in this world, and it can feel like a very strange existence, and you can feel like a very strange entity. I like the word that he used, entity, there, because he did say a man with no path is a very strange entity, but I think that almost humanizes, or I guess dehumanizes a little bit, because yes, you might be a man or a woman, you know, mankind here is what I'm saying there, but without a path, you do feel like you're not even really part of the human race because everyone else seems to have things worked out, yet you're still trying so hard to figure this out and you just can't wrap your mind around why everyone else can do it and you've not been able to, and that is a very strange existence to live, and it can sometimes leave you not even really feeling human, or at least not feeling like an adequate human. Okay, let's take it back a little bit and get to that second chorus.
Maker, I rip out the pages of fate, then I roll them up like bizzle of paper. Taker, lung full of destiny, a man with no part is a very strange entity. Tears on my sleeves, hold on, and holes in these jeans, hold on. I haven't slept in weeks, hold on. I haven't found no peace, hold on. I get my teeth tied, hold on, and these tears run dry, hold on. Two bloodshot eyes, hold on, two bloodshot eyes. Do you ever question your fate? The questions I make, is this all predetermined, the script or a play? Am I the protagonist in this tragedy, or will I be the author of stories unmade? If so, I'll dip in my quill to my ink pot, keep on writing, never stop until my beating heart it flops. I'll write a whole different story. Scene one, a boy full of hope, a boy full of glory. Who's the...
Okay, again, he packed these lines, so we're gonna have to separate this verse into sections here. So let's go over those words first. Do you ever question your fate, huh? So I like that he had that ad-lib at the end, and that Prince is like, huh? Do you ever question your fate, huh? Because it is super easy to question your fate, especially when things are so painful and you cannot see a reason for what you're going through. Let's go over that real quick. The questions I make, so questions that we all have, the questions that we're all coming up with trying to make sense of things. Is this all predetermined, the script of a play? Now, I'm not getting into a theological discussion right now on like predestination versus free will and all of that. I am not getting into that discussion right now. But I do think that it can be very easy for us to kind of wonder, like, was all of this really like put in place before I was born and I was destined to just live this life of pain, or am I like the main protagonist, sort of like the Truman Show? This is reminding me of the Truman Show a little bit, because Truman was the protagonist in that. Obviously he was on this TV show that he didn't know was a TV show for a while. Sorry if you haven't seen the Truman Show, spoilers for that, but like everyone else knew it and was watching him, and I can just think like when he started realizing what was going on, he was like, well, is all of this made up? Is all of this predetermined? Do I really have a say in any of this? Or am I just playing this part because I'm this main character, this protagonist in this act, in this play, in whatever is going on here in this production? And I think that that is what that line reminded me of. It says, am I the protagonist in this tragedy? Or will I be the author of stories unmade? So am I the protagonist in this story? Or is this trying to build me up or trying to get me to a place where I'm going to be the author of stories unmade? So whether that's stories about other people, or more likely the stories that you're going to write about your own life, because you keep holding on, as the chorus says, no matter the crying, no matter the pain, no matter the tiredness, you keep holding on. And when you keep holding on, that's when you're able to write your own story. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Of course, there is a whole theological debate about predestination again that I'm not getting into right now because I don't have the mental energy and I don't really have all the knowledge to speak on that super authoritatively, but I loved that image there. So in those lines, we've also got some more internal rhymes there. So let's go over them here. It says, if so, I'll dip my quill to my ink pot. Keep on writing, never stop until my beating heart it flops. So the rhymes here, we've got, if so, I'll dip my quill to my ink pot. Keep on writing, never stop until my beating heart it flops. So there's one rhyme there. Then we've also got, if so, I'll dip my quill to my ink pot. Keep on writing, never stop until my beating heart it flops. Then we've also got, if so, I'll dip my quill to my ink pot. Keep on writing, never stop until my beating heart it flops. So we've got a lot of internal rhymes there just in those two lines, and it's, as always, it's blowing me away. And I think that's what he's saying, like, if I'm going to be the author of the stories, I will do it. I will get my pen, I will dip it in the ink, and I will start writing. I will not stop writing until my heart literally gives out on me and I'm no longer mentally or physically able to do that. I will never stop trying to write my story that is not yet written. Let's take it back a little bit. Oh, goodness. Whoo! This is powerful.
Will I be the author of stories unmade? If so, I'll dip in my quill to my ink pot. Keep on writing, never stop until my beating heart it flops. I'll write a whole different story. Scene one, a boy full of hope, a boy full of glory. Who's stutters? I'm up to the top. Would rather be tougher and live it smoothly like butter, but not so bitter and cut up. And so I sit up and shut up. It's like a lid up and struck up. The courage never to look up. And now I'm feeling the ruckus, feeling the static, and now I'm feeling the flames, and now I'm feeling the strength inside the ring with my pain. My boxing gloves and my hope that I trust to bust an uppercut, cut my demons up. What? Boom like like a tsunami, smooth like a banana. You bend the birds like origami, Salvador, I'll be the dolly. Only love like Bob Marley, golden ticket, call me Charlie. Riding Harley's Bengali, Tiger Star, call me Arnie. I'll be back. Now cut the slack, track your facts, relax, shit in the beast and then see.
Okay, we're gonna take that back. I thought this verse was gonna be cut off there, but it didn't, and then I'm about to lose my crap on that. So let's go with the first part of this here. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. So he's talking about if it's my job to write these stories that are made, he said, I'll write a whole different story. So different than the story he's living, I will write this story of my life in the way where I am the author and I am the one taking charge and living my life here. Scene 1, a boy full of hope, a boy full of glory. So scene 1, maybe of the story, scene 1 is a boy full of hope, a boy who has all this glory, who has all this hope. However, this boy is someone who, as in we see in the next line, says, who stutters, I'm at it, I would rather be tougher than live it smoothly like butter, but not so bitter, ricotta. But so I sit up and shut up, it's like I'm a little bit stuck up, the courage never to F up, and now I'm feeling the ruckus. Like, oh my gosh. I was not expecting this song to be what it is, and I could not be happier that I'm doing it right now. So of course, whole different story. The boy who has the hope and glory, but is also dealing with these struggles, whether that's stuttering, wanting to be tougher than he feels like he is, feeling like maybe he's being held back by that stutter, by whatever metaphorical or literal other struggles are going on, saying he'd rather be tougher in this life, so rather be tougher from the things that he's facing than for life to be completely lived smooth like butter. And I like that smooth like butter because that image comes up in Jenny's tale. And in Jenny's tale, he's talking about the knife that Screech had, the blade, and it said the statue that she was, so like the rock, turned to butter in a breath. So like a knife slicing through butter. I like that this smooth butter imagery has come up again. You just love that. He's like, I would rather be tougher than live it smoothly like butter, but not so bitter, ricotta. So ricotta cheese, definitely something that has more of a bitter taste. She's like, I don't want to live it smoothly like butter. I would rather be tougher when I'm taking on this life, but I don't want to get so bitter about it. I don't actually want to be bitter about it, no matter how much pain I've gone through. Then goes on to say, but so I sit up and shut up, it's like I'm a little bit stuck up, the courage never to mess up, and now I'm feeling the ruckus. Let's talk about those internal rhymes real quick. But so I sit up and shut up, it's like I'm a little bit stuck up, the courage never to mess up. You all know how I have to work with the words in the song. Courage never to mess up, now I'm feeling the ruckus. Like that internal rhymes, of course, he's just doing that so well throughout this entire song. But also the meaning there, it's like I sit up and shut up. I feel like I'm a little bit stuck up. A lot of that could be because you feel distant from society and you feel like you're trying to build yourself up, and you feel like the isolation, in some ways that voice in your brain can tell you, oh, you're better than these other people because you're not around them and whatever. You aren't actually stuck up, but maybe people get that perception if you're so distanced from the world and they're not seeing you. I could be totally off on that, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. But if you have different thoughts about that line, let me know down below for sure. I just said that line wrong. I just went on a line about that line ending and stuck up, and I think I was incorrect. I said, but so I sit up and shut up, it's like I a little bit struck up. So he's like, I sit up and shut up. So he's going to stop complaining. He's going to sit up in this bed that he's been stuck in. Throwback to Chalk Outlines, I'm still here in this bed that I crawled in. I hope that I'm someone else in the morning. By the way, there's that lyric. But he says, I sit up and I shut up. I stop that complaining. It's like I a little bit struck up. So he's talking about the flames. He's talking about the sparks. That striking there could be like striking a match, striking a little bit of a light that's there. So maybe he struck up a match, struck up a light in this world. But also goes on to the next line. He says he also struck up, he built up, he gathered and seized this courage never to mess up. Now he's feeling the ruckus. So it takes a lot of courage to go against anything that you're dealing with, whether it's your own chronic physical or mental illnesses, whether it's society as a whole, whether it's relationships, whether it's anything you're going through in life. Sometimes you just gotta work yourself up and get that courage struck up to try your best to never mess up, and know that living a perfect life without making any mistakes is not something that any human can do. However, if you can learn to treat any mistakes as not failures, but as opportunities to adjust the sails and learn, and then go forward with what you've learned and have a different outcome next time, that's life. That's one of the best things that you can learn to do in life. But I like that he ends that with, and now I'm feeling the ruckus, because that ruckus, that chaos, that noise, that cacophony, that just stress and panic that can come with that loudness. If you're building that courage up, that can be intimidating to feel all of that, but it can also be like empowering if you're able to harness it and channel it for yourself, for your own healing purposes. And those next lines is feeling the static and now I'm feeling the flames and now I'm feeling the strength inside the room with my pain. I'm smiling at that line. I am smiling at that line because when you can finally tap into that strength and feel that strength inside your room, those flames of light, those flames of hope, those flames of possibility and possible healing, when you can actually connect to that and feel those, oh my goodness, the strength that you can have from that is unmatched and unlike any other. And I like that he preceded that line with he was feeling the static, so he was feeling like the static, never changing, all of this like white noise almost, but now he's feeling the flames, so he's got that spark, he's struck up that courage, there is light in his life again, and he is trying to harness that again to keep moving forward with that light, with writing his story instead of staying stuck in static. There's some alliteration for you, staying stuck in static. And the concept of holding two truths at once. He's feeling the strength inside the room with his pain. So he's inside this room with all of this pain, yet amidst all that pain, he's still feeling strength. He's still feeling strength. And when you can hold two realities like that at the same time, know that they can both be true. You can be in a lot of pain and you can also have a lot of strength even if you don't always feel like it. That is another super powerful thing that you can do in life to honestly just kind of make life feel a little bit easier and a little less painful. And it's hard to master, but that's what we call dialectics, holding two opposing realities, recognizing they can both be true at the same time. It doesn't mean that one or the other is bad or good or right or wrong. It's just there's life, here are the realities, they're both true. I'm in pain, I also have this streak. And I don't know if you saw me there doing a little bit of my punch in there. I took karate for many, many years. So when he delivered that line of my boxing gloves are my hope that I trust to bust an uppercut, cut my demons up. You saw me doing that like punching in the uppercut there like that. One of the drills that we always used to do was like jab, reverse, hook, uppercut. And I'm not doing it really well right here because I'm on camera, so I'm having to like reach up so you can see what I'm doing here, but like jab, reverse, hook, uppercut. Uppercut's like knocking someone out. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that to try to hurt myself, but like totally knocking someone out. So my boxing gloves are his hope, his metaphorical fight that he's got in him are his hope that he trusts to bust an uppercut and cut his demons up. So just destroying the demons, obliterating the demons. And again, let's go back to the internal rhyme schemes because he's done it throughout this whole song. My boxing gloves are my hope that I trust to bust an uppercut, cut my demons up. Then you also have my boxing gloves are my hope that I trust to bust an uppercut, cut my demons up. So those are just two rhymes in there. Not quite that many, but oh my gosh, that image is so powerful because if you're just trying to like bust your demons up and cut your demons up, if you hit them with that uppercut and you're knocking them into outer space, as I hit my bookcase behind me. Sorry, Ren. Sorry for that silliness too, guys. I just thought that was a really powerful image because an uppercut is a super powerful, like really painful punch that you can get on someone. I want to take it back a little bit and re-listen, even though I let it play through the next few lines. I want to take it back to get this more in context and then we'll get back to the dissection.
Now I'm feeling the ruckus, feeling the static, and now I'm feeling the flames, and now I'm feeling the strength inside the room with my pain. My boxing gloves and my hope that I trust to bust an uppercut, cut my demons up. Beam like a tsunami, smooth like a banana. Bend the birds like origami, Salvador, I be the dolly. Only love like Bob Marley, golden ticket, call me Charlie. Riding Harley's Bengali, Tiger Star, call me Arnie. I'll be back. And I cut the slack, track your facts, relax, you're in the beast, and then seek your inner peace. And I'll reach the canopies, and yes, we climbing, building a brave new world inside a whole new design. And with all this fire, we burn like the sun. A new dawn is rising, a new dawn it comes. Yeah,
okay, I like the way his voice switched up there. So let's talk about the part that we just listened to. Then of course we'll go back and get the transition into that part where he's like switching up his voice a little bit. But oh my goodness. So he's been using a lot of this like light and spark and fire imagery and even direct allusions and references to flames and feeling like he's stuck in the flames. But I love that he kind of twists it to the other direction now and says boom like a tsunami. So he's talked about being the boom, the combustion, the explosion in the room where he can now see sparks in the air around him. But now he's like boom like a tsunami. So now he's got this water imagery going, like he's just entering like, oh my gosh, rushing in with all of this power, because tsunami waves are honestly kind of terrifying, but extremely, extremely strong and powerful. So I love that this imagery has changed from the fire to this water imagery, and oh my goodness, I love the way that he has put that juxtaposition in there within the same song. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. Bending words like origami, Salvador, I'll be the dolly. So there are multiple different things there. Bending words like origami. We've talked about the way that he has like changed some pronunciations here, like when he did the Descartes line, he made that rhyme with the word paper before. He was like Descartes, I think is how he pronounced that, similar to that. I'm butchering it again, but like he twisted that word to make it fit with the rest of the line. Origami, obviously you're having to do a bunch of intricate little folds trying to get something to come up to be this big final picture, this final product. And bending words like origami means you're bending them in all of these ways that not everybody would necessarily think of, and you're being so intricate and deliberate with it that it is just this work of art, honestly, and kind of like a puzzle that you're putting together. And that's why I love this stuff so much. And then he says, Salvador, I'll be the Dali. I think the most obvious allusion there is Salvador Dali, the painter. And it actually reminds me of a line from a song that I wrote, which was actually kind of a parody / cover of M's Like Toy Soldiers. And I wrote it for Lyme disease warriors in particular, and one of the lines in it, I say, I've got so much time on my hands, call me Salvador Dali, cause it's all melting away, and I'm just lying here watching all these days pass by, and sometimes I start to think, why is all of this going on? Why is it happening to me? So that first line, though, is what came to mind. It's like, I've got so much time on my hands, call me Salvador Dali, cause it's melting away, and I'm just lying here watching. So in my lines there, Salvador Dali obviously did a lot of famous paintings, but one of the most famous is the clocks there that are all melting, all this like surrealism and all the melted clocks. So I got so much time on my hands, so like watches, clocks, call me Salvador Dali. He did that painting because it's all melting away, but I'm just lying here watching, also watching. This is not about my own lyrics, but I just wanted to say why I love this line. If it's so much because I'm geeking out over the Salvador Dali reference, but I also think there could be almost some religious imagery there, because I think Salvador, the word like El Salvador, San Salvador, all those, I think, I could be completely wrong on this, I'm not going to look it up right now in this moment, but I think that is not a direct translation, but for like Jesus or for Savior, or I believe it is something along those lines. And it makes sense because if you're not just talking about Salvador Dali, the artist, the person, you know, Salvador, like, okay, Savior, I'll be the Dali. So maybe he's like making a play on Dalai Lama there, who is all about peace, I do believe. So like, I don't know, I could be reaching there, but those are some different ways that line kind of potentially came across to me. And I love the next line, only love like Bob Marley, golden ticket, call me Charlie. So only love like Bob Marley. Bob Marley has that song One Love, so that's where he's going with that. And the golden ticket, call me Charlie, is a Charlie in the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory reference, and I'm loving it because again, he brings that similar reference in The Hunger, where he says, I gotta go through the lyrics, get him. My bane that maintains the brain that may change pain, blind, I design rhymes, intertwined, double time, genuine, Frankenstein, I made a monster, conquer, music scene, golden ticket, Wonka. So I like that he's used that more than once in one of his songs. That's just making me geek out. But he's saying golden ticket, call me Charlie. So he's got his golden ticket now. He's got his golden ticket to go do whatever this thing is that he's trying to do, writing his own story. Riding Harley, Bengali tiger style, call me Arnie. And then there was that I'll be back in Arnold Schwarzenegger's accent. So oh my goodness, that, you may have seen the way I was kind of laughing and smiling at that. That was just so much fun to have that little ad-lib in there. But riding Harley, of course, Brady Motorcycles, Bengali tiger style. Bengali tigers, they're very swift, and I think they can be very silent and ultimately can be kind of destructive. So maybe he's talking about just like going on the attack, quickly going to something, trying to be slick and stealth, but still going on the attack to do whatever it is, to do whatever story you're trying to write to make it come to fruition. And then of course that call me Arnie. I like that he used that because it fits with the writing Harley, Bengali tiger style, call me Arnie instead of Arnold. So that is obviously an Arnold Schwarzenegger shout out with, again, that I'll be back ad lib that we already discussed, but I just love that there, man. And here's the thing, I haven't watched a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, so if the riding Harley and the Bengali tiger are also directly related to Arnold Schwarzenegger references, I am not going to catch that, because I've literally watched maybe 2 or 3 of the guy's movies, because action is not my biggest genre that I'm able to concentrate on and focus on. But again, if you know something that I don't, let me know down below, please. Alright, let's take it back once again, get that transition, and finish out this second verse. My goodness, he has packed this song with lines and bars, and I'm here for it, but it's taking a little bit of time to get through it. But I'm not complaining. I'm loving it.
And I'm feeling the strength inside the ring with my pain, my boxing gloves and my hope that I trust to bust an uppercut, cut my demons up. Beam like a tsunami, smooth like a pinani, bend the birds like origami, Salvador, I be the Dali, only love like Bob Marley, golden ticket, call me Charlie, riding Harley's Bengali tiger style, call me Arnie. I'll be back. And I cut the slack, track your facts, relax, shit in the beast, and then seek it in the beast, and I'll reach the canopies, and yes, we climbing, building a brave new world inside a whole new designing. With all this fire, we burn like the sun. A new dawn is rising, a new dawn it comes. Yeah, diggity diggity down with all this corporation. They burn up the land for the greed that they run. Run deep with their roots, but their roots can be lifted. I'll be a renegade, yes, I make a fist kid. Try to seek truth in the kingdom of lies. A boy so lost with 2 bloodshot eyes. Tears on my sleeves, hold on, and holes in these jeans, hold on. I haven't slept in weeks, hold on. I haven't found no peace, hold on. get my teeth tied, hold on, and these tears run dry, hold on. Two bloodshot eyes, hold on, two bloodshot eyes. Ha, ha, ha.
Ooh.
Ha, ha,
I like this little ad-lib say that. Ha, ha.
two bloodshot eyes. Two bloodshot eyes. Woo.
Ooh, that gave me chills. Oh, that gave me chills. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's talk about those last lines there. So again, V is crushing it with the internal multisyllabic rhyme schemes. We've got, and I cut the slack, track your back, relax. So there's just that one line. 4 different rhymes in that one line. So of course, that is just, again, my brain geeks out over that stuff, and I love the way that he delivered it so smoothly. And I cut the slack, track your back, relax your inner beast, and then seek your inner peace. So you've got that inner beast, and then seek your inner peace. And then going on to the next line, and I'll reach the canopies, and yes, we're climbing, building a brave new world inside a whole new designing. Like, what? What? And I cut the slack, so I'm thinking that could be either cutting the slack that he's been giving himself, or cutting the slack that he's been giving the world, or that metaphorical slack like of a rope, cutting the rope off so that you're not chained by whatever this rope is and you can just go free. So there could be multiple ways that that cut the slack line is meant to be taken. As we know with Ren, lines rarely mean just one thing. But he's just thinking, you like, track your back, relax your inner beast. So all of this anger, all of the pain, all of the struggles that you've been dealing with, relax that as much as you can and seek your inner peace. And I'll reach the canopies. Yes, we're climbing. Build a brave new world inside a whole new designing. So, oh my goodness, the references there. Holy moly, I'm probably gonna miss something. However, I do want to talk about relax your inner beast. So kind of tame that inner attacker, that inner critic, that inner just beast that is wanting to cling to the negative. Find your inner peace, because it is there. It just can take some time to access it. But he says once you get to that point, you'll reach the canopies. So you'll be up higher than you've ever been. You'll feel like you're up higher than the sky than you've ever been when you were dealing with all of this inner beast turmoil type stuff. And he's like, and yes, we're climbing, building a brave new world inside a whole new designing. So that line in itself, oh my goodness. So yes, we're climbing. So he's talking about reach the canopy. So still climbing up. We're climbing up as a world, as individuals, whatever direction you want to take that. But building a brave new world. So brave new world is what? Aldous Huxley? Is he the one that wrote Brave New World? Pretty sure. So that has to be one thing he's doing. They're building a brave new world, but then inside a whole new, and he put designing at the end there. But it's hard not to hear world there as well, like in Aladdin, a whole new world. I'm pretty sure we've got both an Aldous Huxley reference and an Aladdin reference in that same line. And my heart, my Disney loving heart, is loving that so much. But he didn't say a whole new world. He said building a brave new world, Huxley reference, inside a whole new designing. So again, you're the author, you are writing, you are now designing this life, you are now designing your own story, and you are the author. You're the one with the paintbrush, you're the one with the pen, you're the one taking this control. Building a brave new world inside a whole new designing. With all this fire we burn like the sun. A new dawn is rising, the new dawn it come. Diggity diggity down. With all these corporations, they burn up the land for the greed that they run. Runs deep with the roots, but their roots can be lifted. I'll be a renegade. Oh, shout out renegades. I'll be a renegade. Yes, I'll make a fist kid. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to make a fist there, but yeah, I'll make a fist kid. Tried to seek truth in the kingdom of lies. A boy so lost with 2 bloodshot eyes. Then it goes into the chorus again. So let's go over those words really quickly. With all this fire we burn like the sun. A new dawn is rising. The new dawn it comes. So with all this fire, he's used that fire imagery a lot in here. He's like, we could burn like the sun. We could burn so brightly that we could be a light for this world. With all this fire, if we just let it flame, let it continue to expand, let the sparks continue to be lit, we are kind of burning like the sun, because we have a chance to kind of help illuminate the world a little bit. And a new dawn is rising. There are so many different literary and musical references that could be referencing, so I'm not going to try to even go through all of them, but I do believe a new dawn is rising. Some of that is making me think of the Batman quote, you know, it's always darkest before the dawn. That's not just Batman, but it's used a lot in Batman. But I love these. A new dawn is rising. seeing the new dawn at come. And then I like the next line. It has to be a shout out to Blackstreet and Dr. Dre when he says, you diggity diggity down with all these corporations. That has to be a shout out to No Diggity. There's no way they can't be shout out to No Diggity. They burn up the land for the greed that they run. We're back to this flame imagery, but not in a good way. We're talking about these corporations, these powers that be, these top 1% or whatever. They're literally destroying the world. They are destroying lives. They are destroying this world. They are burning up the land for the greed that they run. They burn up the land for the greed that they run runs deep with the roots, but their roots can be lifted. So he's saying there that greed with all of those people that are like that, that greed can absolutely burn up the land, and it runs so deep in their veins, it is hard for them to fathom any other way to live. These corporations, these entities out there that are like essentially controlling the world and are in not the place that most of us are on a day-to-day basis. And then I like the contrast of the roots there, because yeah, it runs deep in their roots, it runs deep in their veins. However, those roots, they can easily be uplifted and uprooted and shifted with whatever the next thing is that this politician or whoever else in power decides is the right thing for society. Follows the trends, follows the fads, follows whatever to try to pander to people. And that's just such a great image of how shallow it actually is, of how shallow things like politics and world government and all of these other things like that, how shallow those things are, because they can switch right like that. The roots that you think are so deep, this greed runs deep, but the greed can be uprooted and moved to whatever other value they say they want to espouse at any given point in time, because their roots, their values, their actual convictions do not run that deep. They run about as deep as the pocketbooks that can buy them votes and constituents, and I'm gonna leave that right there for now. I do not have energy to get on that tirade. Finish off the verse. You saw me get excited there, because the first time I think I've heard him use the word renegade in a song, and I know that's what his fans are called. I'll be a renegade, yeah, I'll make a fist, kid. Try to seek truth in the kingdom of lies, a boy so lost with two bloodshot eyes. So when you're trying to seek truth in this kingdom of lies, I think he's talking about, again, the earth, society, in ways that are very superficial, in ways that are not actually digging deep, in ways that change with whatever way the wind blows. If you're trying to seek truth in a kingdom of lies, in a kingdom that is built on sand and not built on a solid foundation, you're not going to really find that truth, and your eyes are going to continue to stay bloodshot because you will be seeking and seeking and seeking and never finding. And that is going to metaphorically make your eyes so much more bloodshot and exhausted, because you are not going to have energy or the ability to even really see clearly. And that's just such a strong, powerful image that he ended that verse with. Oh my goodness, a boy so lost with two bloodshot eyes. So he can't see where he's going. Trying to find his path, can't see where he's going because his eyes are so bloodshot, because this kingdom of lies has blinded him to the truth that he's been trying to seek for that inner peace, to tame the inner beast. And oh my daggone goodness, Ren! Oh boy! You get me. You get me. You get me on a deep level, man. You didn't know that, but you do. And of course, we had the chorus again, which is one of my favorite choruses, I think, thus far, because it is just so happy and it is such a powerful message. We talked about it at the beginning, so I'm not going to recap it all, but I, again, just love that it ends every single line with hold on, except the very last line, which emphasizes the two bloodshot eyes again. And the outro, though, I love that he was adding those little ad-libs like the ha, ha, ha before the hold on, and then he was saying it again. There were like some ha in there. It was, I love the way they did those ad-libs. They just added a new layer and a new dimension to the way that the song kind of sounded. And then there were some other vocals come in on a few different words there. I couldn't tell if it was like electronically generated, if he got like children maybe to do it, I'm not sure where it came in from, but there were a couple different words there where I could hear like other voice sounded like saying those words after he said them, almost like an echo. I love that he ends the outro after taking all this power back, after getting all this strength, after igniting this spark, booming like a tsunami. He still brings it back to two bloodshot eyes, hold on, two bloodshot eyes, hold on. So no matter how bloodshot your eyes are, no matter how exhausted you are, no matter how weary you are with the world and with your circumstances and with your struggle and fight, please keep holding on. There is a day where things can be lighter. There is a day where things can be better. There is a day where you can find the path and you can have that courage and you can channel that strength. But until that day comes, please just do your best to hold on. And as I say in every video, please, friends, do everything that you can do to take care of yourselves, because this world needs you. I am so glad I did this song today. I hope that this was a blessing for you. I know it was for me. And on that note, I can't wait to see you in the next one.